Welcome everybody. My name is Jan, and today I will be talking about Blinkenlights Player, or that's my subtitle, how to run multiple modes at once. And the challenge is how do you tell a player where to shoot in a machine, in a pinball machine, and that's basically done using indicator lights usually. So there are those inserts in front of the shots on your playfield. And usually they blink or light up when you're supposed to shoot the shot. But what to do when there are multiple modes and two modes got the same objective to shoot the left orbit or something. And that's what this is about. So sounds simple, but we will get into the challenge in a minute. And that's basically our agenda here. So we got got multiple modes. That's what I just told you. And it's also what I told you. So what's the challenge? So we motivate the challenge. So why is it not trivial? Why isn't it simply solved? And then we will talk about the solution, the Blinkenlights Player. It's a funny name, and I will also tell you in a minute why it's called this way. And afterwards, as usual, I will have a small demonstration of what I just told you. So why do we have this here today? So we had an issue in GitHub for an issue is basically something where we track something which we want to do, or where we see bugs or something like that. And we had this issue. It goes back to February 2017, so quite a while ago, over 4 years. And Brian created this, and I know that I talked to him about this when he was over in Germany, and we didn't really have a name for it, and that way, because in modern machines where you have RGB LEDs, usually those lights tend to then indicate multiple colors sequentially. And for that reason, we call it Blinkenlights Player. That's the name we came up. It's very not obvious, but that's what we came up with. And we created this issue, and it went on. And then it came up in the stream again and again. And two people in particular, Dave and Avery, probably also commented here. They took up the issue and how to solve it. So we discussed it here, and Dave had some initial ideas. We talked about it, and Avery invested a lot of time to find out how this actually works in existing machines. Took slow-mo videos of modern Sterns, of older machines, and it turned out there are some subtle differences, and we want to support everything as usual. So we started with designing the stuff here, and then later Dave created the pull request, and Avery also helped with documentation and especially on the design. So he worked a lot on the design, and I also reviewed here, so I did very few of the programming. And this merged in 23rd of August, so roughly a month ago, I would say. So that's the history. And now let's jump in what it actually is. So multiple modes. So while I personally do not recommend it, it still happens in some machines. So usually in a pinball machine, you activate one mode, and then you play this one mode, and it has certain shots you have to make. Those are indicated, and that's how it works. But sometimes there are maybe ways to activate multiple modes. Some designers do that. And the problem is like that you have to tell your player for a certain mode to what he should do, right? So which shots he should make. And sometimes those modes might share shots. So because you got like 7, 8, 10 shots in your machine, usually, and there are not so many unique things in a machine, right? And if you can combine arbitrary modes, then eventually you will have shared shots. So traditionally, like in older WPC machines, there then have been like multiple inserts. So for example, I don't know, for example, I think Metallica has this. They got like different colored inserts, and depending on the mode, the corresponding insert is light up. So it's very clear what to shoot if you're aiming for a certain mode. I think those machines often then had all of the modes running at the same time. And today, this basically became a little bit different in some machines because we got like RGB inserts. And for example, I don't know, Ghostbusters or I don't know, Star Wars, those kind of machines, like the modern stuff, right? They got RGB inserts in front of their shots. And then if you enable multiple modes or start multiple modes, then they will like sequentially blink those lights. So that would be red, blue, off, red, blue, and off, and so on. And if there's only one active on this shot, there's only red, off, something like that. And then typically each mode has a color. You often see that in those machines that when you select the mode, it already has like a color. And this color will then also be reused when you when you like indicate for the shots of the mode. So that's the UI for the player. It's like sometimes tricky for new players, but if you're used to pinball, you quickly start to understand this kind of logic, right? And for most of us, it's probably obvious. But if I tell it to my brother, which is not playing pinball very often, he would say, "Wait, what should I do?" So there's like a trade-off for pro players. It's simple, but it's maybe a little bit more tricky for new players, and you should keep them in mind at least a little bit. And so maybe it's then a good idea to put like a text on your display to shoot the left ram, shoot something, have a call out in addition or something, so that new players also know what to do. So yeah, sounds simple, right? Solved. So why is this a challenge? So for a few reasons. So first, you have to make sure that you got now like 7 shots, and you want those lights to be in sync, right? You want to synchronize those, so they should all turn on, off at the same time. Because if they on, off, then it will be really flashy, and as a player, you wouldn't be able to see at a blink of an eye what shots are active and which are not, right? So that's important to to get that. Really, this is sometimes parts like professional games and like custom games, because custom games sometimes do not get this right, so their lights are not synced, and that it looks weird if you just look at it, right? Professional games always have this synced. Then you have to make sure that if you activate like 2 modes, that the order is the same. So it should always be red, blue, off, and not red here, blue here, then blue here, red here, right? Because then that will be again confusing for the player. Additionally, like at design time, you do not know how many modes are active at runtime, right? It might change. So it's a little bit hard to do this like as a light show in MPF, because you do not know how long it is, how many steps it has, and so on. So it can be done in light show, but it becomes like large and tricky. I mean, you can do it in custom code, obviously, right? But basically in MPF we want to give you like a reusable element to do this kind of things. So that's usually our goal, and that's what we try to do here as well. And now Blinkenlights Player, that's basically our solution. I mean, I explained you the history, right? So we did this because we didn't have a better name. I mean, it could be shot indicator. That's also like ambiguous, right? You do not know what that is. So Blinkenlights, yeah, maybe better, maybe not. So when you define a blinken, so you got two things in MPF. So first you define a Blinkenlight. So you got lights. The light is like the LED in front of your shot. That's the LED. And then you define a Blinkenlight. Give it a name. And you define like basically three things. The first is like how long is a cycle time-wise. So how long is the LED staying on? For it's not in a cycle, it's in a step, basically a step of the cycle, right? So how long will be red, how long will be blue, how long it will be off. Basically that's the thing of that's the thing, right? Or you define like the speed. So you can define like either of those. So either you can define the cycle as a fixed length, or you can define the slot length. I mean, you have to decide, right? Either it's dynamic at runtime or it's fixed. So that's basically what you have to decide. And then you have to tell MPF if you always want to have an off slot. So there's like a trade-off. So a lot of Sturm games do it this way. So they turn your light red, off, red, off, red, off. And if you add like a second mode, then it's red, blue, red, blue, red, blue. And if you add a third one, it's red, blue, yellow, red, blue, yellow, red, blue, yellow. And it then will not be off as long as there's at least if there are two or more modes active. And the reason for that is, I guess, that usually you got maximum 2 modes active. It's rare that you got 3 active on one shot. And then they got red off, and the other shot might have 2 modes active, and it's red blue. And then the length is still the same. And only if you got 3 active, those will be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. This will 1, 2, right? 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, and then this will be at 1, and it will be like off by 1. So every second cycle it will be the same. Hope that makes sense. And for that reason, you can decide if you want to have this off slot, always, or just if there's only one light. It's like different in different machines, and we got this option to define that as well. Second thing you do is you add or remove lights inside your modes. Very simple, I guess. Basically, for example, when your mode starts, you might add color, and if the mode is stopped, it will automatically remove this color from the Blinkenlight again. You can do the same in shows, you can do the same in standalone players, as with any like config player, like event player, show player, light player, whatever. So it's basically very similar. And that's what I got basically about the theory. So very short, very simple, I hope. And now, we will go into the demonstration. So let me start my machine.